Welcome back to our music theory file in OneNote. Today we are looking at lesson 15, which talks about eighth notes. Now, if you already play an instrument like piano or band, or you've been in choir, you've probably seen these before and maybe already have a good understanding of them. But if this is brand new to you, it can be a little confusing at first. So eighth notes, this is a new type of note value. There's a few different ways we might see them. The first way is like that, when it's just a single eighth note by itself. Kind of looks like a quarter note that has a flag on it. The flag is important. If there are two of them, they get beamed together. So this is a flag, and this is a beam. And that works for a pair. Or it could be more than two, like underneath that you see them in groups of four as well. Two eighth notes, when they're beamed together, they equal one quarter note. They take up the same amount of space. You could think of this like fractions, okay? This is a quarter note, gets one beat. The eighth notes get half a beat. So you could fit one over there and one over there. Sorry, that's not very good drawing, but you get the idea. So two eighth notes fill one quarter note. We count them by saying 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Ignore underneath here where it has the T's. We use actual numbers. You guys are beyond needing to use the syllables like T and Ta, okay? So if you've got a pair, we count them 1 and that fills one beat. That's what you see here. Now if we're going to fill two beats, you could use 4 eighth notes, 1 and 2 and. If we have 4 beats, you could use a total of 8 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That fills up the same amount of space as a single whole note. So if I was just holding out the whole note, I'd play it on the first beat and hold it out for all 4 beats. But if it's eighth notes, I'm playing every half of a beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right? Now when we see them by themselves, here's how we're going to draw them right here. With the flag, if it's going up, the flag comes out to the right. If the stem is coming down, the flag is still on the right side. Think of it like you had a pair of them that got cut in half, and that beam gets knocked out of there, okay? I need to draw it separate. So I've got that one, I've got that one, and I'm going to take away the beam and turn them both into these little flags. It's like the beam is hanging off of it. If we're using them in pairs or in groups of 4, the rules with which direction the stem goes still apply. So remember, that middle line is what determines which direction the stem goes. And if the stems are going up, then the beam is connected at the top. If the stems are going down, beam is connected at the bottom. And I could even group them into 4 by connecting there. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do right now is practice before you go into the exercises. You're going to write single eighth notes, 4 with the stems up and 4 with the stems down. So I might have 4 like that, and then 4 like that. And then you're going to do 2 sets of beamed eighth notes. First of all, in pairs, and then in 4s. 1 with the stems up and 1 with stems down. So 2 sets in pairs. Whoops, I was supposed to do 1 in the other direction. And you'll do this as well, so you get practice with that. and then 2 sets of beamed eighth notes in a group of 4. And then also the other way with the stems going down, but you can do that on your own. So please do that before you do the exercises. With the exercises, I just want to caution you to make sure you read the directions carefully. In number 1, they tell you if they want you to use flags, or if you're putting them in pairs or in a group of 4, that means you're going to use beams. Now, if you're beaming them, but they're not all in the same line or space, that's okay. So for example, if I'm going to connect these two, they're still both have the stem going up, and I connect them with that beam. These are flags, flags, and then this will be a group of 4 over there for the last one here, group of 4. In number 2, this can be a little challenging. You're filling in the correct number. So it's asking how many eighth notes equals a quarter note. So how many eighth notes do I need to play to equal a quarter note? Well, we learned that you can fit 2 eighth notes into a quarter note. So really, however many beats you have on the right side, you just multiply that by 2, right? Because you can fit 2 eighth notes into every beat. In number 3, you're writing one note, not a number, equal to the value of the notes preceding it. So let's see here. In letter A, we have a half note, which is 2 beats, and a pair of eighth notes. Remember, a pair of eighth notes together equal a quarter note. They're each a half a beat, so together they're 1. 2 plus 1, I've got 3 beats, and I need to draw a note that is equal. I apologize, I'm not at a great angle right now for writing, so my drawing is not very tidy. I hope you can do a little better than what I am right now. Okay, and number 4, complete the measures below using beamed eighth notes. Beamed, that means they're connected together. No single eighth notes, no quarter notes, no half notes, beamed eighth notes. So in the first measure, they've filled beats 1 and 2 and with that half note. The quarter note fills 3 and. That means I need to fill beats 4 and. Okay? Now you wouldn't have to do this right here where I'm dividing that up. I just did that to help myself see what I have for counting. You could do the same thing here. In this, that half note fills 3 and 4 and. So I need to fill 1 and 2 and I'm going to beam those eighth notes together. Okay? Now if you don't understand this, please feel free to ask me questions. If it's a little bit fuzzy, but you kind of get it, still, please reach out and ask me questions. I'm happy to help. I don't want you to be confused, and I know this was kind of a quick introduction into eighth notes. So, I'll see you next time. Until then, keep up with your work, and